Okay, y'all. Today we're making this beautiful chicken breast stuffed with cornbread dressing, and is covered with a wonderful Grand Marnier cranberry sauce. Okay, let's get into this kitchen and get this beautiful dish put together. It's going to be an alternative on your Thanksgiving table. All right, meet you over on the counter. We're going to start by making some cornbread. Okay, in this bowl I have a cup of all-purpose flour, and I have a cup over here of yellow cornmeal. Okay, now to this I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of this baking powder here. 1, 2, and 3. Because anytime that I'm making anything like dressing or something along that line, I like to make homemade cornbread, not the jiffy kind, because the jiffy kind is too sweet and it doesn't quite hold up like homemade cornbread would. It doesn't give you that same taste. Okay, now I'm adding some salt. I'm going to do about a ½ teaspoon of salt here. Now I'm going to put my milk in there, and I just use whatever milk I take in my cereal. A lot of people like to use buttermilk in their homemade cornbread, and that's great, but I just use a little almond milk and it works out just fine for me. But buttermilk is great also. Okay, so we got that in there. Now I'm going to put 2 eggs in here. And I'm going to use a 4th cup of, just a 4th cup of cooking oil here. Now I want to tell you that while I'm getting this bread together, I have my cast iron skillet warming up in the oven, and I put about maybe about 2 tablespoons of oil in that skillet, because I like to pour my cornbread into a hot skillet. So now I'm gonna just get this going a little bit, stir this up, and we're gonna get this bread in the oven to bake. We're gonna bake it for about 20 minutes there, and then we'll be ready for the next step here. Okay? Okay, there my hot skillet is out of that oven, and the oven is heating at 425. And now I'm just gonna pour and try to let you see here. I'm pouring, get my bread on in there. Try to pour so you can see me in that camera there. And sometimes that's kind of an awkward angle for me, but yeah. So get it in there. Now we're gonna bake this for about 20 minutes in an oven of 425 again, okay? And there, our cornbread is ready. Okay, what we're doing in here is melting 2 tablespoons of butter. Can you see that a little bit? Okay, great. Okay, now I'm gonna get my Trinity mix into this bowl. I have about, this right here is about a ½ a stick of a large stick of celery, but this half of it. I have about ½ of a small bell pepper right here, and this is about a 1/4 of a large sized onion, but a 1/4. So this is just a small amount, a little bit of that onion scale in there. So I'm going to get this into my bowl, into my pan, and we're going to stir this around with the butter until the vegetables are somewhat softened. Maybe about 5 minutes you do it. Okay. Okay, so now to this stuffing mix, I'm going to add 2, this is about 2 cloves of garlic. So since I'm using the already minced garlic, that comes to teaspoons, 2 cloves of that. Okay, now I want to put in some dried sage. I'm going to put a teaspoon of this dried sage into this mixture. And then stir this around a little bit. Ooh, it smells so good. It smells like Thanksgiving already. Alright. And to that, since I got celery in there, I want to peak up that celery taste just a little bit. I'm going to put about a half teaspoon of celery seeds in there. Half teaspoon of that. Not too much. Okay? Alright, this eye turned down some. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and put in there is a cup, it's 1 cup of broth, a little cup of chicken broth. And stir that around. And bring that back up to temp. And I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit salt and pepper to taste. A little salt and a little pepper to taste. And that's pretty much what we're doing at this point. And I'm going to let this go just a little bit. Bring it back up to temp, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Now we're going to work on getting the rest of our stuffing together. So in this bowl, I've taken about 2/3 of the cornbread that we cooked over there. So we have 1/3 of it left in the pan. So now what I'm going to add to that is a little bit of this stovetop stuffing here. And so what I like to do, because the seasonings sometimes settle to the bottom, I always kind of shake it up so I can make sure I'm getting the best of the seasonings out of there. I'm going to put a half cup of this to this stuffing. So there. I don't want too much of it. Like so. In there. Now I'm going to take the liquid that we put together over there on the stove, and I'm going to add that into my bowl. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in here, and we don't want this mixture to be too soupy. So I'm going to see how it's feeling so far. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and add the rest. Now I might need to add some more broth to this. We don't want it soupy, but we do need to be able to handle it. It needs to bind together. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So we've finished bringing it all together here, and it's still not hot, but it's pretty warm, you know. So basically, this is the way you want it to look. It doesn't look like dressing would look where you're going to put your turkey with, but this is more, not quite the consistency of stuffing, but look, when you have it like so, you knead it to the point where it can be molded. You see? Because we're going to stuff this inside our chicken breast, so it needs to be like this, not soupy but not dry. Okay, so that's the way you want it to be. Don't think, oh, that's too dry, it's not like I make my dressing on Thanksgiving morning. No, this is where you want it. Okay, so now what we want to do is get our chicken breasts together. These are some pretty nice breasts. They didn't have much fat on them, so I didn't have to trim too much off. But what you see me doing is I am cutting a pocket into the breast, see, like so. So basically it was here, and I cut it into about a 1/2 inch from the back part or the seam of the breast. Okay, so I'm going to go through and do each one like so, until I have that pocket in all 4 of them. Cutting all the way down. nice pocket, okay? Okay, so I like to put my dressing into my hand so I can start the molding process, and then I'm going right into this pocket. Let me turn it towards you. I'm going right into this pocket and I'm just going to press it in. And I'd like to have some dressing try to get it at both ends, so that basically with each bite of our chicken, we're getting some of this wonderful dressing that's stuffed in here. Some people call it stuffing, some we call it dressing. I call it dressing because that's kind of what I grew up with calling it. So this is pretty stuffed here, I would say. Yeah. And so I'm gonna take me a little toothpick and kind of get it sealed together as much as I can. I don't have to seal it all the way, just a little bit. I'm more concerned about having enough dressing in there. So that's pretty sealed for me. And then I'm just going to lift it carefully up and get it into my pan. Okay. Turn this one around. And you might have some of this stuffing mix left over. If you do, just put it right on in your pan and let it cook along with these breasts. So there we go. Mold almost like an egg, sort of, you see? And then lift the pocket up and get it stuffed in there. Okay, a little bit more. And if you get, so much in there that you can't pull it together, I mean, you can take some out or you can just press it further in and that'll be just fine. And that's what I like to do. I like to get as much in as I possibly can. Okay, so here we have our beautiful breast all stuffed. And now what I'm gonna do is put just a little pepper and a little bit of salt on the top of each one. Not too much salt, And then we had just a little bit of the dressing left. And it's about enough for another breast. But what we do, whatever, that pepper got in my throat. Whatever dressing you have left, just kind of put it in the pan around the chicken. Nothing goes to waste here. Okay? All right. Now, what we're going to do is put together a little sauce that this dish is going to cook in. Okay? So here, I'm going to put this to the side and bring this to the front. What I have in this bowl is 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. I hope that focuses for you. Okay? Great. To that, I'm going to add a little bit of this dry sherry right here. I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of sherry. You know we got to have some Boozin now. Wouldn't be in this kitchen. Okay, so that's a 1/2 cup. We're adding it to there. And then I'm going to get this stirred together a little bit here. And this is what we're putting on top of our chicken over here, our stuffed chicken. Okay, there she is, very smooth. Now I chose to use a little dry sherry in mine. You can choose wine in there, a little white wine in there, or if you want to take the alcohol out altogether, you can just put water, a 1/2 cup of water in there. So I'm just going to get this poured a little bit over each one here. Spread the love all around here. Okay. All right. There we go. then just make sure your chicken is well covered there. Now I'm gonna come across this, my hands washed off. Okay, I'm gonna come across here with a little bit of aluminum foil. And my oven is already warming at 350, so it should be very hot about now. At 350, and we're gonna put this in the oven, and we're gonna bake this for 45 minutes in the oven. And after it bakes for 45 minutes, I'm gonna take the top off the foil and let it brown for probably about an additional 5 minutes there. And then we'll be taking our dish out of the oven. Okay, so there she is, fresh out the oven, and we're gonna let it cool here for about 15 minutes or so before we lift them out and plate them, okay? Okay, what you see me getting together in this pot is my fresh cranberries, and I have about 3 cups of cranberries in there. I've already added 1 cup of white granulated sugar. To that, I'm going to add a half cup. This is some fresh squeezed orange juice that I have here. That's about a half cup. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in there. Make sure I got it out. There's about a half cup there. Okay. Then I have a little zest from the fresh orange that I use. I'm gonna put that in there as much as I could, get off. Just want enough to let you know that it's in there. Then I'm going to add about a half cup here of this Grand Marnier. So let me bring that back a little bit so you can see. Yeah, Grand Marnier. I'm going to put a half cup of this in there. Okay. Put that all in there. Okay. And then use my potato peeler to pull just a little bit more of that orange off, and I want that peel to cook in there also. Okay, I'm gonna get this stirred up a little bit, and this is gonna cook for about 5 or 10 minutes until these cranberries start to burst there. Okay, she's coming up to a boil right now, and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of my cinnamon down in there. And if you have cinnamon sticks, that's perfectly fine too. I'm gonna give her a good stir and let it continue to cook, and we'll be back when they are starting to burst, which should be in just a couple of minutes. It doesn't take long. Okay, so our cranberries have been cooking here about 10 minutes, so I'm now ready to turn the eye off. And I don't know if I said it in the beginning, make sure when you take your cranberries out that you wash them off really well and take out any bad cranberries that there may be. I think I had about 3 of them in here, but at any rate, do that first, and then you put all your ingredients together in this pot. And I did not have to add any more sugar. It carried the right amount of sweetness for me. So they look a little bit like this before they cool. Now, I'm going to tell you what I do just a little bit before I put this back to just cool completely. I take my potato masher and I just lightly press down on them just about a few times, not like I'm mashing potatoes, but just a little bit, so I can have a good consistency of them mashed. So when that sauce develops, I can have some roughish, but some of that softness in there also. Okay, so that's all I want to mash up in there, and this is going to thicken on its own because the natural pectin that's in the cranberries is what thickens it. So don't worry about the consistency of it now. That's not going to be the consistency when it cools. So we're basically done here, and I'm just going to put the top on this and let it cool just a little bit here, and I might put it in the refrigerator. If you're gonna serve it at your dinner, you can make this even the day before and let it cool in the refrigerator, but I don't want mine to that level of coolness. I just want it ready when my chicken is ready. So it'll cool for about 15 minutes or so. Okay, so there it is. our stuffed chicken stuffed with dressing. Beautiful dish. And it's paired with these beautiful cranberries. Okay, y'all, so we got this chicken breast stuffed here with this wonderful dressing, y'all, and I'm about to just dig right on in here. This dish right here is a wonderful alternative, especially, this Thanksgiving, while we have we're not gathering in large groups. We're having a small family gathering, so you're trying to wonder how can you scale down your meal a little bit. So this is a good way to do it. So I invite you all, give this little dish a try. You saw how quick and easy it was, and you also saw how easy it is to make your own cranberry sauce. Didn't even take me 10 minutes there, and it was ready to go. And right now, I'm ready to go because it's about to be a wonderful Thanksgiving in my mouth here, so we can just get ready to say a little gobble gobble here, because here we go. Y'all, I hate to talk with my mouth full. I hate to smack, but y'all, this right here, and I want to say a happy Thanksgiving to you all too. Enjoy your families. Y'all get together and love on each other like you know you need to. And I'll see you all next time. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.